Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to International Racing League Season 6 F1 Round 15 at Belgium, or as Spa. I am joined in the comms booth with Kevin.
Hello.
There is my co-commentator. So, I'm going to go over the driver centres. We've got a decent turnout at the moment, 17 drivers, which is pretty decent. So, the top 10 I'm going to go down is as follows. Matthew Alder in first in the Renault with 225 points. Second place is Louis with 179 points, closing on Matthew. But will he catch up enough for a championship fight near the end of the season? We'll have to wait and see. Mark is in third, who's I believe now pulled out with 112 points. Jay's in fourth with 111. Brandon Glover's moved up to fifth with 99 points. Can is in sixth with 72 points, battling with Sondre for that position. In seventh is Sondre with 69. Cameron Young in eighth after a good result, second place in China. He's got 66 points. Sterling is ninth in the Williams with 50 points. It's good to see Williams up there. With Diego in the Alfa Romeo in 10th with 45 points.
And for the constructors, we've Renault obviously up in front. Not that far ahead of Alfa Romeo in second. Renault with 294 points. And Alpha with 268, so seems like the battle between them two is getting a bit better, because they're getting seemingly a bit closer, because Louis been getting quite a few wins. Haas is a little bit further off in third, in a bit of no man's land, 178 points. Red Bull in fourth, 126, closely followed by Mercedes with 124 in fifth. Then we have Williams in 6th with 78, the Racing Point in 7th with 72, McLaren in 8th with 66, Toro Rosso in 9th with 45, and then Ferrari in 10th with 42.
Well, there's your construct stand-ins from Kevin. Some interesting penalties information after China. Sondre got a 3-second time penalty causing a collision with Brandon Glover, which was added at the China race. So he dropped from P6 to P7. Brandon moved from P7 to P6. And then at the end of the race, there was a little overall standing glitch where it said Diego finished ahead of Can when Can's car was ahead, and those two got switched. Can finished 9th and Diego finished 10th. So that's all the penalties from last week's race, which have been all added on. Well then, it is Spa, of course, and it's a very tricky track to get right, but if you can get it right, you can be very unstoppable around here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the corners mean everything, because if you can't get away in the corners, and once it comes to the straights, then you're a bit of a passenger if you're leading. I mean, Louis, every race that he races, it seems like he's winning. I mean, in recent times, obviously, he's just been pretty much winning, apart from Singapore that he missed. But if you take out Singapore, he's been winning for a while. So if he can get it right in the corners, then he can pull away. But if he doesn't, then could see quite a fight and quite a train out for first.
Yeah, you're all right there, and good evening, Callum. Welcome to the stream. As the weather looks quite clear, it looks a bit cloudy at once, bit of the track. Maybe some rain, possibly near the end of quali, as a lot of people are on softs. And my qualifying prediction for the top 4 is actually going to be Matthew first, Louis second. I'm going to give Ollie third and Cameron fourth today. I think that's going to be the way it is. You never know, we could see Jay in that podium, top 4 position in quali. But we'll have to wait and see. So
I'm gonna go with Louis in first. I'm gonna put Jay in second. I'm gonna put Cameron in third, and then I'll put Diego in fourth, and say Matthew messes up somehow.
Well, and that's Kevin and my qualifying prediction, as cars are leaving the track. So I believe there was a Force India out first. I believe it could have been Can, and it is Can. So we're going to go on Can. Right now, he is ahead of a Williams. He is on the soft tyre now. Is this an indication of it being wet in the race?
It could be. I mean, it's obviously quite early to be on softs. You can have a strategy of soft hard, but yeah, it is early. So there could be rain. Although there is some people also out on mediums, so maybe not.
Oh yeah, well, I do know a few people in this lobby. Is ZE3 is Sondre and Blizzard, who's come back after I think hardly any practice. Matthew Alder, but it looks like the Williams wants to go first at these two, and I believe that it's actually Lewis Curtis. Could be wrong. I am wrong. It's actually Sterling, so Sterling will be the first one to go. But people can do soft to medium at this track now and then if you're very good on your tyre wear. So we'll go on Sterling now. He's coming into the La Source corner. It's turn 1. Gets a nice exit. Really doesn't kick out as if you would if you were on the medium tyres, as he's now approaching a Rouge. Gotta get this nice and right. One little mistake can make your car go spin into the wall. Nice and tight there from Sterling now coming down the big long straight. Going to probably be hitting around about 215 miles an hour down this straight right now. Actually only hits 210. He's going into turn 7, 8 and 9. Nice and tidy there, but on the grass a little bit. Now coming into the hairpin corner of turn 10. Gotta get a nice tight line into turn 11. It's basically straight. Nice and tidy from Sterling. He's being a bit, not aggressive, being a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Calm and relaxing to the corner. He's not really fighting the curbs and trying to use as much of this track as he can. As he's now in turn 13 and 14. Now he's starting to push the car a little bit now into turn 15. Nice and tidy there from Sterling. Got to get this corner right. One mistake can put you straight into the wall. In the turn 16 now. He's come down another long straight. As there is yellows in sector 2 now. I don't know if that's because someone has lost it through turn 12. But here comes Sterling now coming up to the bus stop chicane. Let's see what lap time he will do. It will be provisional pole, of course, since he was the first one to set a lap. Let's wait and see what he does. And it's a 43.7, and that is the fastest. Actually, I am wrong there. Can beats him by a 10th. 43.6 there. Good lap there from Can. And PH Kill, who I believe we have got some new drivers who I have sent you the list for. If I can find my Twitter, for some reason it's disappeared. Well, however, PH Kill currently is in first, so 143.4. Simply Rush has lagged out again from the session. Hopefully he can make it back, as I believe PH Kill is Jack Kill. So Jack did set, was provisional fast, but Matthew does a 42.9. And Diego takes second with a 43.1. Gotta say though, Kevin, do you think Matthew, the way his pace already is showing, do you think he's going to improve on that time by a lot, or do you think that's him now going really fast and keeping that lap time?
Well, I mean, I think he'll go.
Oh, Lou's gone off.
It's only the start of quali, so I mean, you usually improve by the end. So I don't think that's his absolute fastest lap. It wasn't.
Speaking of a person, Cameron Young, who's been having a bit of issues with the Haas team, proved him a bit wrong in China, but he's been struggling just there. As you saw him, he was off track for a little bit, and I'm surprised it wasn't invalid. But it's not going to be a good lap, since he was really off wide. Do you want to go anybody on a lap, if you know, because I know Cameron isn't.
I'm on board with Jay right now.
So you want to go on Jay? Okay, if you want to come sit over his lap, mate.
Yeah.
I see. He's actually not on a lap. He's on 0 ERS.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Sorry, he might be getting ready for another run though, so we'll stay on board with him.
Yeah, Cameron's preparing as well.
Yellow's in sector 3. Who's ahead? Is it Cameron or is it Jay?
Yeah, Lewis going in. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people probably got invalidated runs, or I'm not 100% sure. Oh, and Norman's like it's going slowly. He kind of took Jay by surprise.
Yeah, I just caught that. The only person who will be on a lap very soon is actually Lewis Curtis. He's currently in the Williams in the hairpin corner. He's been doing very well with Williams. In Singapore, I believe he got a podium. And actually, I also believe he got a podium last week as well in China, which is a prize for Williams. Like, they were at the start of the season not doing that good. They were quite far behind McLaren. And now they're ahead of Ferrari. Ferrari's had a very troubled season. And Williams has now come up and said, Ferrari, basically, you're going to have to fight for this position, and Williams have got ahead. So Lewis Curtis will be the first one to start a lap, which, if you want to commentate, Kevin, I'll let you do so.
Who did you say?
Curtis, Lewis Curtis, in 13th right now. Yes, I'm just going to check a message.
Yeah, actually, yes. Is he starting a lap?
He is about to start a lap.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, so coming to the bus stop chicane, the exit is not so crucial because it's not too long of a straight, but it helps to have a good exit to start your lap off, and it looks like it is a pretty good exit. And now into turn 1. This exit will affect you for quite a while, so you really do need to get the power down right and not have any issues. It doesn't look like he had any issues. And now coming up the hill, it's very easy to spin out there. It seems quite a common thing. Of course, he hasn't spun, and he's going to be able to continue flat out until this is turn 4, I'm pretty sure. And looks like it's pretty tidy. He's using all of the track that he can to try and get as much lap time as possible. Of course, he hasn't set a lap yet, so we'll be looking for a good lap here. This corner is quite tricky. You really have to get the curb right so you don't go too wide. And once again, it seems like a pretty clean lap overall. And now through this little right-left, you do need to take quite a bit of curb for lap time, but you don't want to take too much because it is easy to lose the car there. And looks like he didn't use as much curb as he could have, but it is a safe way of doing it, and it's worked out for him because now he is finishing his lap down the I'm not really sure if you can call it a back straight, but it is a straight nonetheless as PH Kill gets out of the way.
That is Jack Kill, as Rafa has joined.
Yeah, so through the bus stop chicane, and he's going to exit to set 43.2, so that's actually a pretty good lap.
As now I will go on board with Brandon, who I believe is actually not on a lap, so he may come into the pits in the Mercedes. As his teammate has made it today, Nino Romnell unfortunately missed China, one of his best tracks, which he did win in IRL F2 last season by a quite substantial margin. And he was that quick for the rest of the season that he got promoted to F1. He's still trying to find the sweet spot between these guys, but he has performed quite well at some stages and made a few errors. Oh, as Brandon almost spins it in the pits there. As we're going to go on board with Jamie Morris right now, who is currently on a lap, who has come back. He did, I believe, got dropped down to a reserve after he couldn't make a few sessions, and then I think he left since he was considering retirement. But he has come back, and he is in the McLaren today, so McLaren are testing him out, see what his pace is with everybody else, and see what time he will do against everybody else on the grid. Something a shame for Rafa though, however, since he missed quali, so he will be starting from the back of the grid. But you never know, back of the grid could be the best starting position to win a race. We have seen it before, as Jamie Morris now is coming through the final corner to set a 1:43.1. Jeez, where is this pace from Jamie come from? 1:43.1 is a very good lap. Promotes him to 3rd place. Great lap there from Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, seems to kind of have come out of nowhere. I mean, going from retirement to setting a lap like that, I mean, as actually Louis just
obliterates everybody's lap.
It sets a 42.4. So
good lap there from Louis there, as he was behind Sondre, and Sondre's made an error, it looks like, 'cause he's done a 43.9. Now, I know Sondre doesn't like this track. He has told me he hates it. Ollie's done a 44.1, so the other McLaren driver, who I believe just as reserves for Lee and Caden. Have been struggling a lot as Brandon has come into the pits, still hasn't set a lap time. Cameron is out right now, who hasn't set a lap time. Simply Rush is also out, who also hasn't set a lap time, who keeps lagging out unfortunately. Neither is Jay. So these are the only 4 guys who haven't set lap times, and a person who's about to finish that time, almost running on the bare minimum of ERS, is Cameron Young. What time is he going to do? Will he even match Matthew? He does a 42.8. Now that would have put him into 3rd place, I believe. Unfortunately, it was invalid. So Cameron has got the pace today for podium position. He did say he would, I believe he did say he would like another podium. To show the Haas guys he's still got it, what it takes to progress through the Drivers' Championship. As he's now backing off and trying to save as much fuel as he can to make it back to the pits, as I believe the only person who's next to be on a lap is Simply Rush. Now I believe he is called, where's he at? Alejandro. If I've said that wrong, I do apologise. I'm not the best at that. I'm just going to call you Rush for now, since if I have got that wrong, or yeah, I'll try and say your name correctly. I do apologise if I got it wrong. But Simply Rush will be next in the Haas to set a lap. As right now we are getting ready for it. But unfortunately, Cameron Young's teammate hasn't made it today, as Leclerc, TF1 Leclerc, unfortunately hasn't made it. Which is probably upsetting the Haas team a little bit, since they're not getting the maximum team points they're getting, since the reserve can't score points for the team, only for themselves. As right now, Simply Rush is currently in 17th, because I believe someone has set a lap time. I don't know who has. I do apologise if I don't know who it is. Simply Rush is going on a lap. Kevin, if you want to comment over that quickly.
Okay, so coming into turn 1, as I said earlier, you really do need to get a good exit. It didn't really look like the best exit you could have gotten. It looked like he went a little bit deep into the corner. But he is, of course, going to continue on and overtake to get the maximum out of the car on this straight. It is quite a long straight, so a good exit out of turn 1 is quite good. It's going to help you all the way down to turns 4 and 5, but you really got to get a nice flow. And it looks like, oh, we did go a little bit wide there, and he had to correct the car slightly, getting up on the grass. So that will affect his time a little bit. And through this corner, you don't want to get too wide, because you don't want to be scraping the wall. And he takes it quite well. And now it's a little bit easy, although we can actually clip the curb on that previous corner and go around, as you can actually clip the curb here and go around as well. So a few places where you can lose it quite easily. But he continues on, of course, onto this 3rd straight, I'll call it. And now it's basically flat out until the bus stop chicane. And now coming into the bus stop chicane, goes on to 1st gear, which is interesting. I don't think everyone would do that. But he sets a 43.5, so not the best lap, it doesn't look like, judging by the rest of the grid.
But he has promoted him to 12th, and of his teammate, or reserve teammate, is Cameron Young in 17th, who has retired, so he thinks he can't do a lap properly, so he's going to be starting the back grid with Rafa. Will Brandon be still in the same pit? Because everyone's now gone on the final. Speaking about Brandon, his crew is coming out of the pit box as he comes now down the pit lane, as he's got both Renaults in front of him, with Matthew Alder leading against Sondre. So is this a tactic for the Renaults? Is it a slipstream party? Will the Renaults manage to secure something?
I've just realised, by the way, from 5th to 14th, there's only about 5 tenths in it.
Yeah, you are right there.
That's quite close.
As Bran will be the last one to set a lap time, I believe. So I need to find the person who's actually ahead of everyone, who I believe is actually Lewis Curtis. As Lewis Curtis is currently on a lap right now. Through Arouge he goes, He's going to try and beat his 43.2 to try and get ahead of Jay, Jamie and Tom, and that's the person who did set up. It was actually Jay, who's come up to 4th with 42.9, so it's very close for the top 2 for the 2nd place, but there's a bit of a gap for the leader and 2nd by a few tenths. However, Lewis Curtis is currently on his lap now, coming up to the hairpin of turn 10. So I believe Bruxelles, or as it is called. I do apologise if I got that name wrong, guys. He's now approaching into turn 11. Nice and tidy there, almost exceeding track limits a little bit, but kept it within the limits. As now he's approaching this tricky corner, turn 12. It's easily, oh, and that's it. That has to be invalid. I think it is game over. No, it's not. He's still pushing, so he might have actually got away with it. There is yellows in sector 3. I believe that's because of people backing off. As right now, Lewis Curtis is now approaching into turn 15. Goes straight to gear 3. Short shift to gear 4, makes a little error on the steering, comes into turn 16, didn't use much of the track as I thought he would have, may have compromised his run a little bit, but he is almost out of ERS. It's basically flat out now through this whole section before he comes up to the bus stop chicane, as he is completely out of ERS, coming into the final 2 corners, which with 0 ERS could cost him a bit of time. Let's see what time he will do, and it's going to be a 43 flat, improves by 2 tenths, promotes him to 7th, so he beats his teammate. Actually, no, he actually doesn't improve. It was invalid. That is unfortunate for him. He was actually invalid. Wow, but it would have actually promoted him to 5th, in fact. So that is a shame there from Lewis.
I've just realised the 2 Renault guys, Sondre gave Matthew slipstream down the straight.
So Sondre wasn't improving on his laps. Sondre was doing the best teamwork I have seen and trying to help Matthew. Oh, and there is a red ball. That is Jay. Jay is round. He has got no front wing, so that is qualifying his attempt. Game over, basically. So he is out on off his qualifying run. However, we'll stay on board with Matthew Alder, who's almost out of fuel. He's now approaching turn 12. Brandon's not that far behind, so he may have got a little bit of that slipstream from the Renaults, as Matthew is trying to push the car as much as he can. He's now approaching the chicane of turn 13 and 14, as JME has retired in between sector 1 and 3. Oh, as Matthew had to correct the rear end there, the Renault almost loses the back end. As Matthew is currently 2 tenths up on his time, so that will do a possibly promote him to 2nd place, as Louis just obliterates his time, 142 flat, and I don't believe Matthew's going to get that position unless he finds a lot of time through this final section. As he's now approaching the bus stop chicane, as Curtis has retired, as we will go on board with Brandon straight after Matthew Alder. Let's see what lap time Matthew will do. It's going to be close. 42.4. What about Brandon? A 43.5. So Brandon was way off the pace off Matthew Alder.
Yeah, I was having a look at Matthew's sector times, and he actually gained pretty much all of his time in sector 1. So Sondre helping him out there basically is the reason that he's in 2nd right now.
So Matthew may have a bit of trouble then with Tom, Diego and Jay then, as this is qualifying over then. So Louis yet again gets pole position as Brandon's AI rear ends Matthew Alder. But Louis gets pole. Will this be pole and a win for him? A 2nd win, I believe, in a row it could be. Will his winning streak continue? So then, 1st place is Louis with a fast lap, 142 flat. 2nd place is Matthew Alder. 3rd place is Tom. Diego's in 4th, so Alfa Romeo looking strong, with Jay in 5th. Jamie Morris as reserve beats Ollie in 6th. Ollie in 7th. Jack is in 8th. Lewis Curtis is in 9th. And Sterling in 10th. Nino Romanello in 11th. Can in 12th. Simply Rush, the reserve, in 13th. We'll be happy with his qualifying position. Lawman's in 14th, Brandon Glover in 15th, who will be disappointed. Sondre also in 16th, maybe a bit disappointed. And Cameron Young and Rafa, I believe, are the back with no time done.
Yeah, I just had a look at it. Lewis has won every race since round 9 at Bahrain, apart from Singapore, which he wasn't able to race.
Alright, well, that's very good then from Louis, consistent, as I can see a Red Bull's helmet above the car, so there's some paranormal activity happening in the Red Bull team, as Jay, I think your head's like extended quite long, but a bit of information from the qualifying, as Sterling said he broke a bit of his wing X in the pits, so this is why he didn't improve on his lap time, which has cost him a few positions there. However, though, the grid was very close at certain points, not for the top two, of course, as Matthew was 4/10 off Louis, as Louis did a 42 flat. But will Matthew pull this out of the bag as we're about to start on the formation lap? As I'm going to go with the race prediction with Matthew. I think he's going to win this race. I think something's going to happen possibly to make him win. I could be wrong, of course. Then Louis second, Diego third, and I'm going to go with Jay fourth. I think he's going to hold that past Tom. I think Tom's going to drop the fifth. But yeah, what is your qualifying prediction? Race prediction then, Kevin?
I'm gonna put Louis to win. Again, I mean, he seems to be pretty good at that, so yeah, I'm gonna put him to win. I'm gonna say that say for once that we get like a fight between the two going for the title, and then Matthew brings it home in second. Then I'll put Jay in third and Diego in fourth, pretty much the same as you, more or less, apart from the winner. And Thomas drops the fifth.
Okay, then, so counting me, I have a few similar things, not with the winner, of course, excuse me, but I've just noticed from 11th to 17th, they want medium tyres, so they're doing the alternate strategy, medium to soft. Now, some of these may do medium to hard, which is kind of a silly strategy since the medium to soft could work. It is risky, of course, but you could get a punch if you don't time it right.
So it also it gives them options as well, because if they get a bit of wing damage, they can go for a medium hard and they won't lose too much time. So being on the medium is a pretty good tire, to be honest.
Simply Rush's AI is holding up Brandon a lot here. Simply Rush has made it back, so hopefully he can get into the car as quick as possible. Now, hope this doesn't cause an issue for the rest of the drivers, because Gustin is off. Now, he's lagged out before the start of the race, so there's no glitch with the corner thing with this, since I believe the rules were implemented now, as Sondre said. So, as Rafa is in 18th, we'll be starting on the soft tyres. He's in his junior team instead of the Red Bull car, as there is a racing point round, and that is Lohmans. Lohmans is in the grass, going to get a lot of dirt on his tyres and possibly disqualified off the formation lap, which isn't going to be good for him because his tyres will be cold and a lot of dirt on him. If you guys do want to predict your race predictions in chat, let us know, as we're about to get racing very soon, as we've got a bit of a odd camera view right now on Louis with the number 12 on his car. Simply has lagged out again, so he won't be in, it looks like. I think his AI car will be racing basically, as we have got 18 drives today, so a very good turnout, as we are ready to go. I'm waiting for the light sequence to start. We've got 12 viewers, so it's good to see these viewers making it to the stream, as we're now down to 4 lights, 5 lights now, as we're about to start the race in Spa, as Louise had an alright start. But what about Matthews? There's a lot of wheel spin further behind. Matthew gets a tragic start, loses a lot of positions from the start, loses it from Tom, drops to 3rd place. Will he lose it to Jay? No, Jay's a bit far off. Louis had a great start as there's fight all around near the back of the grid. Both Williams are going after the McLarens with the Ferrari, as there's no chaos. Oh yes, there is. Bran is just. Oh, there's a huge crash.
Yeah.
Nino and Lohmans are out of this race.
That was Nino. Not his fault.
And the safety car.
He was the one who spun initially.
And that is the first time I've seen a massive crash like that cause the safety car. Now this is good for the guys on the medium tyre. This isn't good for the guys on the soft tyres, because then they have to either decide to stay out or go on the hards. But it also could help them to make a longer strategy. So there's only 22 laps this race, so it's a very long, it's a long track with a very short race. Now that is, I don't know who I saw was at fault. All I just saw was Nino just lost it through a rouge and just collided with Lohmans.
Yeah, you're right, it was Nino who spun around and that he collected Lohmans.
So that is unfortunate there, but it looks like a race, and it's a buff medium tyre, so those tyres must have been cold, and I'm surprised it wasn't actually Lohmans who spun. But it was a very big impact into the wall, and it's sorry to see here basically Lomans and Nino are out of this race before the end of the first lap. Hopefully we don't see that in F2, Kevin, but as right now Louis is basically just controlling the pace under safety car position. I know Rafa will pit. Now will Rafa go on another set of soft tyres, or will he go mediums? Now he can't make mediums to the end, but he could make the hards to the end. So it's going to be a very interesting call what Rafa does, because I know he has major wing damage, as he's basically just got the nose of the car left.
Well, I mean, looking at it like this, if he pits to basically do the same strategy he was already doing, he won't lose.
Oh, Sondre might pit as well. Sondre's got a bit of wing damage, so this saved, as there's a lot of people coming in the pits. Ollie, Sterling and Can, and I believe Sondre and Rafa will also pit. Jay's actually also in the pit, so he's got a bit of damage from the turn 1 incident, and Jay's gone on the hard tyres. Now that is interesting. Jay is on the hards, as now I will go of a grid reset and everybody comes out of the pits, as Louis is just basically controlling the pace with the safety car. He doesn't want to get too close, because the safety car will just destroy his car on impact.
Rafa's also onto the hards.
So there's a lot of guys going on the hard tyres.
I'm not sure if those are mediums or hards. I can't see some angle.
Sondre is on the hard tyres. As right now we will go on a grid reset then. So Louis is in first place then, with Tom in second, jumping Matthew on the start. Matthew is in third, not the best start he's had in a while. Diego's in fourth, so stayed in position. Jamie Morris, a good start from him. He's in fifth in the McLaren. However, though, the Ferraris are looking aggressive. Jag is in sixth. Lewis Curtis is in seventh. Brandon in eighth, after his teammate basically caused a huge crash with Lawmans. Cameron Young in ninth. Good start from the back, has jumped to ninth place. His teammate Simply Rush, I believe AI, and it is his AI, is in 10th. Jay is in 11th. So Jay really wants to get past his AI. Now I don't know if he will get penalised for this in the game. I know the game is a bit dodgy with that. Ollie is in 12th. Sterling's in 13th. So Sterling's going to be trying to keep these hard tyres warm as possible, or he's going to go into Rouge. As Khan is in 14th, as Rafa is in 15th. So I'm surprised he has gone on the hards, as Sondre is in 16th place. As it does say Sondre's on softs, but he's on hards.
Ironically, we both said that Thomas would fall down to 5th, but he's actually already up into 2nd.
Yeah, so he's doing Ferrari some improvement after his teammate Edward unfortunately left the league, I believe, or was dropped as a reserve. And Jack got a call from Ferrari and stepped up as a position. And currently right now those two drivers are in 2nd and 6th right now. They haven't retired, as they've had a few poor races and it's cost them a lot of points. So I'll have to wait and see, as the safety car will go out, I believe, for another lap, which is a shame.
Lewis is in the pits.
Oh, Louis pitting, so Louis going for interesting strategy call. Is he going for a fresh set of soft tyres? We'll have to wait and see, because he's the only one in the pits. Now this promotes Tom in the lead.
A lot of positions off this as well, because that was after everyone got punched up.
Well, as he got wing damage, doing any wing changes as I can see, and he's going on the hard tyres now. Oh no, he's not. He's going on the he is going on the hards. It said he was going on mediums then, but he's also going on the hard tyres. Now this could ruin his race. This one pit stop strategy could cost him the win. Now he's at the back of the grid, slots right behind Sondre, so he hasn't really lost that much time from the safety car. So it's a very interesting strategy Louis is going to make, because Louis has got to fight his way through the field, doesn't have to pit now. Matthew, Tom and everybody else, the people who haven't pitted, will need to pit.
Wait, can he take mediums to the end from here?
Not really. Mediums, the push line is around about lap 10 to lap 11. It's really push in. But Matthew, I've seen Matthew manage to make him from lap 9, but it's Matthew, he's kind of an alien on this game. He's very good with his tyre wear, so with Louis of course, so he could have really took those tyres a lot longer I mean. But he made the interesting strategy call to go on the hard tyres. I wonder what he is thinking for the race now, to start, as Sondre's tyres are switching from hard to a soft. So I believe this is the first time for Tom actually to lead an IRL race, and I believe it's the first time a Ferrari has led, I believe, in the IRL this season. As Matthew Alder's right close.
Actually, if you look at it like this, say, you remember Jay, I think, in, was it Japan?
Yeah.
When he started like near the back and put on like he started on the hards and then he ended up third. No, it was actually Abu Dhabi. That's it.
Oh yeah, Abu Dhabi.
When
Yeah.
he started near the back, I mean, we're still at the start of the race, so I mean the strategies are going to be more or less the same. So say Louis is
on
going
this lap.
If I hit now, it's basically still the start of the race. Like we've basically just started, so the strategy is going to be pretty much the same, except I'm now on a better strategy than everyone else.
As welcome Luke Baker and welcome, I forgot your name, Jeremy, that's the one. It is a very early safety car. If you do want to check that out, just rewind the stream a little bit and you'll see the incident in Rouge with Nino Romanello and Lawmans, as Tom now is preparing to start the safety car lap basically when it goes green. No one can pass till the finish line, I believe, and that's what the new rule was for the F1. On 2018 I believe you didn't have to do that, but on 2019 you do. Which I prefer, of course. It's a lot more easier. And as Thomas has... Oh, Thomas has balled it! Thomas has done a Jack Yates in IRL F2 at Singapore, basically, right now. I legit cannot believe that. That is the second time I've seen someone ball it under the safety car. Matthew and Tom is furious. Tom will be furious, as Louis is not. Louis is making the move easily into turn 1, as there was no yellows in sector 1. Because didn't you make it through sector 1? It was still in sector 3. As we'll go on board with Louis. Has he got wing damage? No, he doesn't. He's now coming the back of Rafa. Him and Rafa are going to have to do a great job to get through the field, as he's right on the back of him. Look how much straight line speed Louis has got compared to Rafa. Is he going to go on the inside through turn 5, I believe? Neck and neck, side by side. Oh, bit of wheel banging. Louis trying to find a way through the outside of Rafa. Rafa has to know that he's there. Got to give him space. But no, Rafa does a great move on the outside, and these two are basically riding each other right now. I don't know if these two are actually in there. Can see each other right now.
I saw that as well.
Somebody is cheering on Diego. As that is very weird between Rafa and Louis there. As Matthew is now pulling away with a commanding lead of 9/10. Same gap between Diego and Jamie Mosh. Jamie Mosh is in third, as there is battling further behind. Brandon. Oh, Brandon and Curtis have gone. Brandon and Curtis are in the wall, and I don't know what happened. I'm surprised Brandon isn't out with that. That like Lewis lost the rear and just went into Bran. Bran will be furious. This is another time he's just not had a good result.
Lewis is now making a move on Russia's AI car. So.
As Cameron has just got past Jamie, so Cameron is flying. Cameron is in P4 right now on the medium compound of tyres, so he will be on the fastest strategy right now.
Yeah, Lewis already up into 10th. He came from.
Lewis is flying. Jamie is in the pit, so he's only done 3 laps on those soft tyres, so maybe he's having problems with a soft compound. As right now, Cameron is in 4th, but Louis is in P9. Louis is flying, and Louis, speaking about Louis, he's actually challenging Can. Louis and Can are literally coming up to a
strategy that he went on will probably take him to a dominant win, because, I mean, if he keeps going like this, he'll keep catching quickly, and on the better strategy...
He is actually, you're right, he's only got the gap between him and the leader is currently only 9.9 seconds. Matthew's going to have to pull another 10 seconds to try and keep ahead.
Lewis gets past Can just about.
Morris is gone. Morris has gone. Morris has gone. If it will let me quickly get to Lewis Curtis, as it does,
yeah,
where
that's probably Orange.
Or Auckland TV pod view, as he just lost it same way Nino lost it, and yes he has, yeah. He's lost it same way Nino. That's unfortunate for Morris, as Brandon will be in 15th, as those two had to peel in the pits for damage. But back for the battle for 4th place, Cameron Young versus Jay versus a bit of Ollie, if Ollie can try and get in this delta. And also Sterling's actually battling with Ollie, as right now Louis is in 8th, currently 2 seconds off Sterling right now, but he is catching quite quickly as Cameron makes a little error there, and this is going to close Jay up a little bit more. But the dirty air on this track is very odd, because sometimes it's not there and then sometimes it can almost put you in the wall, as I have had the benefit of that. Although I'm very surprised Jay has actually managed to keep up with Cameron, since Cameron's on the medium compound of tyre. As actually the stops wise, we may say Louis might win this race, but actually Jay could win this race. He's ahead of the people who've done the stops right now, and he doesn't have to pit again. He's on the hard compound of tyres, so in theory Jay, Ollie, Sterling, Louis and Can and Rafa possibly could win this race.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point.
As the biggest position gainer is Cameron Young, the biggest loser position gainer is actually Louis, since he pitted.
With Louis though, he has one lap fresher tires, so he'll be able to, in theory, take them an extra lap. So his tires won't be as bad as everyone ahead of him. I mean, it's a very, very long lap, so one lap will make a big difference in tire wear.
Yeah, you are correct. There's Jay is just that helicopter view of that Red Bull looks so nice. But there is Cameron locks up with the Haas, and yet again Cameron's proving that he has got the pace in the Haas. He's just had a poor season at the start, having a few crashes, having a bit of contact with Jay at the start of the season in Spain, and I think another track, I believe Mexico. But they put that beside them and basically just got closer and closer and fighting in the racing right now as Jay is closing up on Cameron. So Cameron's now making a few errors which may cost him a bit of tyre life on those mediums. Yellows intersected Lewis is out. Lewis is out. I'm going to quickly go overboard with on Brandon. Oh, we won't actually be able to see it, but I believe Lewis has actually lost it through turn 12. Oh no, I'm wrong there. He actually lost it through turn 6 and I've just missed it. Wow. Very surprised about that as we go back on board with a battle between Jay and Cameron Young. This is the close battle we do have on track as Jack has just got a 3-second time pen added to his time. As right now we'll stay on board with these two battling it out as Lewis has left, so he's not going to get a podium today, which is unfortunate as did say I think he said he would like a podium as Jay is really closing up on Cameron, but Cameron and Jay are catching up with Jack a little bit, only a tiny bit though.
Louis almost on the back of Ollie as well, and then he'll have 2 cars to pass.
Oh, as Cameron's on the inside, Jay on the outside. Who's going to win this battle? Out on the main straight, the Red Bull gets head on the hard time as Jay locks up a little bit. But Cameron's almost rear-ending him just to try and stay within that toe, to try and go for a lunge possibly into turn 10. And no, he doesn't. Cameron stays behind and Jay takes the position as we've just got some interesting information from Jamie Morris. The reason why he had to pit, because he had front wing damage. Apparently he hit the wall behind the safety car and it didn't change his wing in the pit, and that's why he lost it through a rouge. It's unfortunate there to hear from Jamie. You did quite well to get through the field. Or we can see you next week. As right now though, Jay is ahead of Jack and starting to pull a little bit of a gap. And starting now to close on Tom, which is battling for third. These three on 6 laps old soft. Now the gap between Louis and the leader is 11.9. Matthew has pulled the gap, but he hasn't pulled enough gap though. He's still got to pull around about 6 to 8 seconds to be within a shout for the win. However, Jay right now just looks unstoppable. Jay doesn't need a pit. He's in 4th, controlling his race and just flying. He's got 7.4 seconds to Matthew Alder, and soon Matthew will be pitting. Matthew may make the early pit stop. Matthew will be on the medium tyre, I believe, as well, so he will be able to catch up quite quickly, but will it be quick enough to pass Jay?
It is an interesting question. I mean, he probably would be able to close up to him, but it's, I think, a lot more about pulling away than closing up. And with this track, with the straights, it is quite a difficult task to actually do. So, yeah, I think it'll be close between them, and you can't really.
Jay just gets
Louis
past Tom,
either.
Jackman. Yeah.
Who's actually got past Ollie as we speak.
Louis and Jay are both synchronised and getting through the field. As soon as Jay makes move, Louis makes move, and Ollie's now being relegated to 8th place. I'm going to say right now though, Jay just looks unstoppable. He's just flying on those hard tyres, and Jack's got an issue. The soft tyres are starting to go dead, and we can basically see they're basically going dead, because look how much Cameron is on his rear end. And Jack, yep. Big lock up. I didn't really catch that, but I saw a bit of the smoke as I switched camera angle there. I always do this at the wrong time, as I did in the Christmas Classic when there was a huge crash with Paco Suarez, I believe, Caden in the Christmas Classic. As right now though, we're back on board with Jay, I believe. As now he is in 3rd, got a gap of 7.1, I believe. 7.2 between Matthew.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I thought you were saying like between Cameron or something. I was about
Oh
to
no,
say that's definitely wrong.
no, yeah, I was going to say that's definitely wrong, but they're very close. As Lewis Marshall comes in the chat and calls me Fozball. That is no longer my nickname anymore, mate. It's called Fruity Pebbles, which I don't like to say, but is my nickname from Sondre and Edward in PSGL when they did comms. But yeah, that's what it is now. But yeah, welcome to the stream, Lewis. It is a shame you no longer race here, since you couldn't make the times. Hopefully we do see you again next season, or probably later in this season. As Jay right now though is flying.
Yeah, it looks like Lewis will be able to make a move on Sterling. It's quite close, and he has slipstream DRS.
As Cameron is closing the door, but we're going to have to go on board with Louis and Sterling, because Louis is catching the Williams. As I don't believe there's going to be really that much of a battle between Cameron Young and Jay as yet, because Louis is flying. So it actually still could be a Louis win today, as Matthew has got a lot of pressure to take now, as the gap between him, Matthew and Louis, 11.6 seconds, so the gap has closed a little bit now.
It's right interesting to see if Cameron's going to be able to hold up Jay in any way, because if he can, then we could see a fight between Louis and Jay, which it looks like at the rate that they're kind of getting through the field, in the way that now Cameron's just kind of sticking with Jay. Louis could be knocking on the door soon.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, mate, but Sondre is actually in a battle with Can, as Can's got left wing damage there. So this is probably why Sondre's closed up quite quickly. We'll go on board with Louis very shortly, but right now, this battle between the Renault and the Alfa Romeos.
He's actually getting past them. Louis is.
I will get on board back on him. As right now, though, we will stay on board with Louis. Louis is going to go on the outside through the bus stop chicane. Sterling doesn't want to fight, basically gives him the position. Sondre gets ahead of Can eventually, so we just miss out on that overtake. Matthew, well. Matthew's in.
Matthew and Diego are all in now.
Matthew is in on the medium tyres, so he is taking the mediums then. It's going to be it's not really going to be a push now, though, since the safety car was in play. But where is Matthew going to come out then out of everybody else? I don't think he's going to get ahead of his... He's going to stay behind Rafa, but gets ahead of his teammate. Now, will his teammate get ahead of Diego? No, he doesn't. His teammate stays behind Diego, who is under threat by Can. As now Louis in third place, as Jay is in the lead. As right now, though, person who is actually trying to battle with Louis right now is actually Sterling. Sterling's in fourth place, has gave Louis the position, but he's basically not letting him pull away, trying to use this slipstream as to pull away from Ollie, who's currently in fifth place. And after, even with that wing damage at the start, with that safety car, has basically helped his race and to get sixth.
Yeah, it looks like right now Louis is really catching the top two. So we are going to see quite a fight for the lead.
Yeah, we are going to see a battle for the league. I apologize if you're wondering why I'm laughing. Felix.
Oh, yeah, I think I know Felix.
Yeah, Felix just put Brand is so bad that he is in last. Actually there is an incident. Is that Rafa? It is. Rafa is gone. Has there been a contact between him and Matthew Alder? Rafa is round, trying to get the car under control. As Lewis Marshall is saying, poor Brand, but I think poor Rafa really. He came back very strong and he's just made error there. And I think, has he got wing damage? I'm not getting the best camera view. Come on, Codemasters, give me a better one. I want to see if there's any incidents. For some reason I've got the fastest lap on, but we will go on board with Sterling very shortly if he gets a bit close. And there's no wing damage on Rafa's car, so I think he's been got out of jail free card there. As we'll go on board with Louis right now, as he's getting challenged a little bit by Sterling, and there is the Red Bull and Cameron Young. Cameron still needs to pit. Now Cameron will probably take those tyres to lap 15 at least, and then go softs to the end and take that fastest lap. I believe he'll be the only one who to take the fastest lap point, since he's on the soft compound of tyre. Now will Rafa pit and do the exact same? We'll have to wait and see. As currently right now though, Jay is 7 tenths down this time, as we don't know what Cameron is, but Cameron is gaining now.
Yeah, I just checked. Louis caught about 4 tenths in that last lap.
So it looks like Louis may win today, as right now Cameron and Jay are going to be battling, but Jay has to remember that there's a car between Louis and him, and Jay is very good at defending when he needs to be. As Felix says, bold prediction, Sondre is going to win. Well, you never know, there could be a major crash something possibly could win. He won in Japan in the Christmas Classic season between Bran and Matthew, having a bit of a crash. So you never know, anything can happen. As right now though, Cameron's just trying to close up on Jay. As Jay hasn't had the best championship season, he was looking actually to be in the championship fight with Matthew. He could still be in it if he starts winning races now, but a few DNFs have just basically cost him, as a DNF in Canada happened as he crashed, I believe, in the Wall of Champions. As Lewis Marshall is saying that Jay shouldn't fight as much with Cameron if he needs to pit again. Also with Felix saying, nah, he won't, he'll crash on the last lap. I believe that is still the Bottle Hog himself. As right now, speaking about the Bottle Hog, he is in 8th place, has pitted, so it looks like he will get some points for the the Reynolds team, as Matthew Alder sets the new fastest lap, 146.4. Now, what is that compared to the leader? That is 6 cents quicker than the leader right now.
Oh, it looks like Cameron's close now.
Will Cameron make the move to take the lead of this race? This will be the second time he's actually led an IRL race. Will it come? Look at the speed of the Haas of the Ferrari engine. He gets past that Red Bull with ease, and Jay just doesn't really fight, and it's very sensible from Jay since he knows Cameron will have to pit. But it isn't now good now because Louis is now 2.8 seconds off Jay right now.
Yeah, Louis taking a lot of time out of the top two, and you can see them once he exits a few corners here and there. So he might, well, I mean, I'd say he's been thinking about it for a while, but now we can see it. He's got the a visual of them to kind of back up, thinking maybe I can win today. And of course, we also got Matthew down in 6th, who's actually getting held up by Ollie right now.
This possibly is aiding Louis and Jay's run right now, because the gap between Matthew and the leader is 7.4 seconds, so he isn't out with a shout. There's still 10 laps, basically. So he is within, if he's pushing a second a lap pace, he could do it. As Lewis Marshall say, Jay can really save the battery now and use his DRS. He could do that, as we will go on board with the telemetry right now and see which they've got, as Louis actually got less DRS compared to Jay, so Jay's still got a bit more than him. A bit of the telemetry update. As right now the Red Bull driver is staying with Cameron. Now this could be affecting him in the corners, which is probably making Louis catch up a lot.
Yeah, Lewis is almost within 2 seconds now.
You are correct there. And will Jay get past Cameron again? As it looked like there on my screen, like Jay actually, sorry, not Jay, Louis looked like he almost lost it. Could have been my eyes.
Yeah, watch Matthew as well. He'll be able to get past Ollie presumably now. So
it's Matthew versus Ollie, two great friends, both battling it out. Renault versus McLaren. Reminds me back in the 2006 days.
Yeah, he's got moved on way before the corner.
Yep, Matthew straight line pace there, very easy there. As Jack gets another 3 second time penalty added to his times. Jack is clocking up those penalties right now, which could cost him a few positions. Can has gone on the soft tyre, so Can and possibly Cameron will be going to try for the fastest lap. Will Can steal it from Matthew Alder? We'll have to wait and see. But right now though, the battle for second is getting closer and closer. Louis now 1.8 seconds off Jay. Cameron surely will need a pit very soon. As Felix does say, boring stuff in IRL F2 is way more exciting to see who will win the last race before Eric dominates the season. As JK, of course, I know you are joking there, Eric. I mean, Felix, I don't think Eric will dominate. You know, he has got pace, don't get me wrong. Remember, not fast pace is everything, you know, you've got to be as consistent.
Oh, if he races on his wheel.
Yeah, if you race on the wheel, he is our pace, but he's not going to race on his wheel, as Tom has just left his session. But back to F1 results, as Matthew Alder is closing on Sterling now, battling for P4. So Matthew is coming back with a comeback drive after he had to make that pits, and he didn't do what Louis did and went on the hard tyre. Now Louis made the best strategy call I've seen out of everyone in the F1 grid today, doing that strategy, and it looks like it may work into a win. As Cameron's still leading, as Jay has closed up. Now will Jay now think, you know what, screw this, I need to get ahead of you now, you're costing me, and possibly make the move? Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Hashtag make Louis, Eric use his wheel.
maybe we'll have to wait and see. But right now though, Matthew Alder against Sterling. Sterling defends on the inside, but look at that. Look how much pace Matthew's got compared to Sterling, and just gets ahead of him quite easy. But Sterling tries to get on the tour, possibly trying to come back. No chance.
Now, all of a sudden,
Oh, Jay's got
he
ahead.
only has, he has 7 laps to catch up to Louis, who's only 4 seconds up the road.
As Jay has took the lead, so Jay's now starting to think that's it. Need to push now. He's going to focus now as Louis is in second, in 1 second off Cameron, so it's 1.6 now the gap between Louis and Jay. Now Jay's pulled 2/10 now up on Louis, so as Louis now got to pull some weight here and start pushing as Felix and Louis are saying Matthew drive the day and Brand drive the day, and I'm going to crash in F2. I'm sorry guys, but the drive of the day right now is between Jay and Louis. These two have done a very interesting strategy call and pulled it off. I knew what Matthew's strategy was.
For me, I'd say more Louis, because he was 16 at the safety car restart.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. He was at the back of the grid basically and didn't get any contact as Cameron's now coming back on lap 15. We're on now at 22 and Cameron still hasn't pitted. He's done 14 laps on as me as Matthew sets a new fast lap, 145.8. See what Can did with his fast lap. He did a 149.3 apparently. But I think that was when he pitted. Now, I believe he's actually battling. That might be why he's battling with one of the AIs, Simply Rush. Now, that's going to cost him a lot of time. Backload the battle for the front. Cameron's going to go for a late lunge into the chicane. Jay sees him coming, of course, and just couldn't make the move work on the inside. Has to give Cameron the position, but this isn't good for him. As right now, Louis is in within 1 second.
Yeah, I think we are going to see quite a fight. Once Cameron pits, it's going to be 3 people going to the end, all wanting to win. I think that could well be a good fight. Because Louis and Jay won't want to let Matthew pass, and they'll both want to beat each other at the same time, so...
You are correct there. So Cameron may be doing this in maybe that strategy possibly to aid Matthew a little bit, as they are good friends. As right now Matthew's 4 seconds off Louis. There is 7 laps. It is possible Matthew could still win this race, but there is one way of catching up to someone, but you need to know how to get past them quite easy. If you don't, you're not going to get the position. As I have suffered that in the hard way against a few drivers in IRL F2 and F1 when I've been racing. But right now though, Jay is on the back end of Cameron. Cameron pits, finally. Cameron does pit. He's basically, Jay will not be happy. He'll be happy that he's got a bit of DRS, but he won't be happy that he's lost a lot of time against Louis. So it's Jay now versus Louis. Red Bull versus Alpha. As Matthew Alder's now in 3rd place.
Renault in the background as well.
So will Matthew manage to come back? It's Jay still leads.
I had a look as well. I wasn't going to say it if any of them did have penalties, but all 3 of the top 3 have no penalties, so it's just whoever finishes ahead of the other is going to win.
You are correct there. Right now though, Louis gaining so much time on Jay. Jay's tyres are shot, it looks like right now, as he's struggling for a few of the corners, as Louis is just gaining a lot of time. Now remember, Jay was behind Cameron for a very long time, which could have overheated his tyres a little bit. Louis was behind a few people, but he got past them quite quickly. So this is maybe where it affects. So we'll go aboard on a telemetry lap
Louis
now.
also with a lap fresher of tyres, and
as neither of them are pushing.
Lap, that is going to help him out quite a bit.
As Matthew is pushing. Speaking about Matthew, he's using a little bit more ERS than these two, and he's not really gaining that much. Jay and Louis are not pushing, and Matthew there lost a bit of time there, so Matthew is struggling on his pace. If Matthew wants to catch up, he needs to push, because right now he's running out of time as we're on lap 16. I'm going to start on lap 17 very soon, as Luke Baker's come to the stream. Welcome, Luke.
Yeah, he has 6 laps left at the end of this one.
As right now though, Louis is with Jay. This is the only way Matthew's going to have a good chance at these two extremely battle, with Jay getting better X there than Louis. But yet again, Louis and Jay are hardly using any ERS. Matthew is now not hardly using any ERS, but he's only got 26%.
Yeah, Louis may be purposely sticking behind Jay as well to try and save a bit, although he looks like he's going to be trying to make a move right now.
Let's go on board on the TV pod view.
Slipstream overtake. It goes to the inside.
And yep, Louis now in the lead of this race. So Louis has took the position, but will he manage to hold it? Will he be able to pull away?
Yeah, it doesn't look like Matthew really gained from that at all either.
Yeah, it's currently the gap stabilising between 3.6 and 3.8.
It looked like he probably gained a tenth from that move that Louis did on Jay, so...
As Lewis is saying that
Louis isn't happening, I guess.
Possibly, but Lewis Mosh says Louis looks a little bit more confident than Jay on the brakes, and you can just tell. Louis basically finding extra time in the braking zones, and he's pulling away. There's currently now the gap now 7 tenths, but look at Matthew, only 3.6. So Matthew's losing a lot of time now to Louis, as it's almost 4 seconds now, as Louis is now starting to pull away. 1 lap fresh tyres than Jay, so is this where Louis is now going to start pushing the car as much as he can? As look, Matthew's got hardly any ERS, he's almost bone dry with 16%. So Matthew's doing everything he can. This is what a championship leader does. He has to try and score as much points as he can against the guy behind. Even if he's losing points anyway, he's going to try and score the maximum points he can. But right now, it is a bit heartbreaking to see Matthew in third, as he was in the lead, looked like he was going to win this race, but I think the safety car kind of cost him when Louis made that interesting strategy call.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Matthew didn't take the gamble of pitting. Louis did, and Louis is the one leading right now. Of course, Matthew is on a better tyre, but he's running out of laps and he still hasn't caught up, and the gap is 4 seconds between him and Jay, and it's been that way for a while. So, I mean, he's not catching, and Louis obviously getting away a little bit. So obviously the right strategy was to box for hards, and I mean, Louis did that obviously, and look where he is.
You're all correct there. Louis is leading, only by a few tenths though, so 1 penalty from Louis could make Jay win this race. As Matthew's gap has gone to 3.7, it was 3.9 just a minute, it's gone back to 3.8, but there's a big battle further down on the track between Diego and Ollie. Ollie's made an error as he was ahead of Diego and quite close to Sterling, so he's lost position, but someone's off. Is that Sondre?
No, it's not Sondre.
It's Jack. Jack's off. I don't know what's happened to Jack. Yeah. Jack is, I think, maybe manually retiring the car, probably trying to stay out of everybody's way. Yeah, as his pause, I think, yep, Jack's called it quits. I think he's had to go or something, but Jack's car has just gave out on him as he's retired, but back to the battle in the lead. Not Diego, Louis versus Jay. So Louis, again, looks like he's going to win another race in a row.
And his car didn't affect anything, luckily. Just had a check. His car's out of the way. There's a massive fight for fourth, by the way.
There is a massive battle for fourth, but there's also a massive battle for the lead. But I'll say on the board this battle, if any gap gets close, I'll quickly switch. As Diego's going to try and get fourth place from Sterling. Don't count Ollie out of this. Ollie could get 3 wide slipstream. Yeah, Sterling's trying to defend on the outside of Diego, but Diego gets the move. Very close and personal there between these two. Good move there from Diego.
With all this fighting as well, Cameron's on softs. He's not too far behind, and he's on much faster tyres.
He's not that far behind, but he's already done 3 laps on those softs, and he's just got a 3-second time penalty. Also, he's got the fast lap as well. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch up with these, especially when the time near the end of his tyres are going to start falling off a cliff. As right now, Matthew is going to start feeling the same fate as well very soon.
Yeah, Matthew's fell back by 5 tenths. He's not gaining anymore.
Well, back to the battle for the lead, Jay versus Louis, as the gap stabilised roughly around about 6 tenths. I'll keep an eye aboard with the battle for for 5th place with Ollie and Sterling. If Ollie gets any closer, I will switch to him.
Yeah, I'll watch it so you don't miss anything.
As right now though, Jay has closed up a lot in the braking zone, so Jay is starting to attack. Jay wants this win. He wants to stop Louis winning this race and not scoring 25 points. He wants to score the 25 points and he wants Louis to score 18. As right now though, Jay is closing very slowly. Although soon we will have to go on board with Ollie because he's still in that DRS range. As right now we will stay on board with Louis, as it'll be a while before Ollie gets up the main straight through a Rouge. As it looks like no battle position is going to switch around, so we're going to go aboard on Ollie. Ollie's run a bit wide through a Rouge, but gets it under control at the top part of a Rouge. But look how close he's getting to Sterling. That car's like a rocket ship right now, and he gets past also on the outside. It looked like a bit of wheel banging there between these two. I've got to say though, Kevin, after last week in China, Ollie didn't have the best result. He kept spinning out in the Merc, but he's in the McLaren and he's feeling quite confident, and he's in 5th place right now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a car preference that he just does better, but yeah, I mean, up in 5th, I mean, he could well still catch back up to Diego and snatch a P4, so yeah, it looks like he's doing quite well.
As Cameron gets another penalty added to his time, as Felix saying, go Ollie. As he is cheering on Ollie right now, as Ollie is currently in P5, and Ollie's doing a very good job of defending and overtaking today. It did look like he was going to get a podium at one point, but the pit stops and the way Louis did his strategy, I think, put an end to that, and Diego has got past as well. Doing any really closest battling right now between only Sterling, Ollie and Jay and Louis. It just looks like Jay is just losing time on the exits. Like, he gets there finally on the straights, but he's not getting the great exit. He has got a lap older tyres, as we're now on the penultimate lap of lap 21 out of 22. So we will be going on the last lap, next lap basically, is right now Jay has closed a bit now on Louis. Has he got enough gap to catch Louis up? No, he doesn't. Too late. He has to be within 3/10 to have a chance. But he's not pushing. It looks like neither of them are pushing with the ERS. Sure, Bran, I need to see how you shouldn't drive. Oh. I'm sorry, Bran, but Felix is doing all the jokes today. As right now, though, Louis is still in the lead, but there's a battle further down. Actually, no, it's actually a pit stop. Rafa's actually pitting, so will Cameron's fastest lap time go?
Bran's also in for a pit stop as well. He's going for fastest lap.
So is Cameron's strategy basically falling apart to get the fastest lap? Will he lose it from Rafa Bran?
Yeah, Bran's in 11th though, so I don't know if he can get the fastest lap.
He can get the fastest lap, so if he gets fast lap, no one can get that extra point basically. He won't get it either, of course, but no one then will get the fast lap point. Although close battle right now is actually Ollie and Sterling, as Louis is about to start the last lap. As we will go on board with Louis very shortly when he comes closer to the end of the race, if you can keep an eye on that, Kevin, if that's alright, as I'll stay on board with this battle between Sterling and Ollie. As Can has lagged out of the session, he will be within the 90% rule, but will he lose his point position? Oh, hang on, has Ollie got an issue? Has Ollie got an issue? Ollie's just pulled over and just let these two through. As the McLaren basically done a Lando Norris. He's just lost 2 positions as Ollie losing power.
It seems like he doesn't really have that much power, even though you can.
Well, you can really lose power with engine. I've seen Sondre do it at Bahrain where he blew his gearbox up. Sorry about that, Bottle Haug. But anything can happen, and his power's coming back. It looks like now. Oh, as he almost rear ends Cameron Young there. As Ollie, I don't know what happened to Ollie. Was there a connection issue? Was there something wrong with the car? There is something wrong with that McLaren. But Cameron is looking for 5th. Now, if Cameron does this is a good recovery drive from not having the best qualifying and getting 6th.
Yeah, Sterling on 20 lap old hards as well. So
where's Louis at? Louis not at the end yet, so we'll stay on board with these two right now. Will anyone make any little cracks under the pressure and bottle? Only time will tell. Sterling is in 5th as Can's pitting now, which is odd, unless that is his AI. Now that could cost him a position. However, though, we will go on board for the leader as he's now approaching up to the final chicane. I know you're probably going to miss out on the overtake from Cameron Young and Sterling. But right now, here comes Louis to win his second race in a row. A dominant force at the moment in IRL, Louis is showing to be. Jay takes second, where Matthew Alder will take third place.
Like Cameron's going to get fourth, or fifth, sorry.
Wasn't
close enough.
As here comes Diego. It takes fourth place for Alpha as Sterling. Will Sterling hold fifth? But will Cameron have anything to say? No. Sterling takes fifth. Cameron, actually no, Ollie takes fifth.
Oh.
That's why Ollie did it. Ollie was cheeky and he knew those two had penalties, let them through. Ollie takes fifth, Sterling sixth, Cameron Young in seventh. Sondre is in eighth. Can has made it back. So Sondre will finish eighth for the Renault team. We'll be happy with that. After starting near the back of the grid, as Rafa won't be happy with the race as he could have got a lot higher position, but he'll be happy from starting from the back of the grid to get ninth. As here comes Rafa then through the bus stop chicane to take P9 for the Red Bull, I believe points will be added to. As Khan is in 10th. Now this is his, I believe this is him on board right now. And oh, Khan's lagged out yet again. But he's not really affected anyone, not really cut any corners. So I think that actually will be his position. He has finished. He was within the 90% rule. Takes 10th then, as Brandon is going to take 11th after.
For the fastest lap as well.
Will Brand take the fast lap from Cameron? No. 45 flat he did. It looks like, so he was a bit off the pace there. So there we have it, the race has been over and done with. So Brandon takes 11th, won't be happy with the result he has. As Sterling does say in the chat, bold move there from Ollie, but a man on top set of the podium yet again is Louis. Second win in a row, just dominant force with Jay in second, and Matthew Alder looked like he was going to win, but had a bad start, safety car cost him, and then he finished third. But he'll still be happy with that, he's done very well with today's race. But yeah, Louis wins yet again.
Yeah, and it just kind of emphasises that this championship battle is nowhere near over. I mean, excluding Singapore, he's won like a load of races. I mean, since round 9, as I said earlier. So, I mean, the championship battle is definitely nowhere near over, and I think it is going to go down to the wire, looking at how it's going.
As Louis wins the race then, takes first, not with the fast start however though. Jay takes second, Matthew Alder in third, lost a position on the other hand. Diego in fourth, Ollie in fifth, good result from him. Sterling in sixth, good results from him. Cameron Young in seventh, great result from Cameron today. Eighth is Sondre, ninth is Rafa after a few incidents, like making errors. Can in 10th, Brandon in 11th, and 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th are DNFs, since either they're AI from the start or they've crashed on their own accord. So that is the full official results, with Louis taking pole and I believe Cameron Young taking the fastest lap, a 45 flat. What did Brand say? Hang on, 45.01.
No, 44 from someone.
Oh yeah, actually yeah, Rafa 44.6. I do apologise, Rafa got the fastest lap, it looks like that. So there we have it. As I'm going to get the top 3. I know Jay doesn't have a mic, so unfortunately we can't have him in the interviews, but I know he will be happy with his result, of course, as I will invite them now. And you never know, we may have a surprise third person if in the party, as for an interview, as a random selection. So we will invite Matthew and Louis, if I can find him. It's ILRT in it, Louis. It's not the other one. Right. As I will invite them now. I'll send him a spare invite actually as well. there we have it, as we're waiting for those two to join the party. But I've got to say, Kevin, it's been a very good race there. Not that many battles as we thought, well, as I thought it would have been, but you don't need a lot of battles to have a good race.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we did have a pretty good battle for what was fourth until Diego kind of pulled away, and then, I mean, the whole race you didn't really know who was going to win. I mean, like, you had Louis down in 16th, you had Jay in the middle, like, and then you obviously had Matthew staying out to do the normal strategy they already planned, and obviously both strategies looked like the right one, but it looked like at the end just Matthew's heart just kind of went off, and Louis and Jay were able to keep their first and second places. So yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, you're alright there, as I am still waiting for the guys to join. Hopefully they have got the invites, I have sent them. If they join in a few minutes, I'll send some invites for the guys, some people. As actually, I will invite one person who I believe deserves an interview after he hasn't really raced in IRL that much, but has done a good result. So we'll go on board with that driver, of course. And you know what? We'll have the bottle hog himself as well. They'll get invites. While we wait for the other drivers to join, we're going to go over to the calendar right now, as I believe next week. Oh, thank you for that, to sending that to Sterling. As well, look on the calendar for the F1 tier right now. Next week will be France for the F1 tier, and I know Matthew will be excited for that track. He's very good at that. Of course, on the 18th of January. It's going to be a good race there. Saturdays, I don't think people are going to be joining for the interviews today, which is a shame, you know. I do like to have some of the drivers for the interviews, unless Ollie quickly joins. I have sent him an invite, I have sent Sondre an invite, but they may be AFK. But if that is the case, then we might as well end the stream here. So, I've been your host, Jared Fosbury, or as IRL Neon. I've been joined by Kevin.
Yep.
As Nexus Aspect. For more IRL F1 content, join us next week on the 18th of January at 6 o'clock UK time. But if you want to see some more content of F2 and F3, which is tomorrow at 4:30 UK time at Spa, which I'm not looking forward to. I've had two of my worst tracks being played, so time will tell what will happen there. But yeah, it's been a great race from everyone, good battling from everyone. So yeah, if you want to see more F1 content, hit the like button, follow us on Twitter, IRL F1 I believe it's called, and smash that like button and subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.